Welcome to Feed Yourself Well, and we're finishing up our series of holiday side dishes, and today is going to be carrot souffle. It's a throwback recipe. It's one of the favorites of the South, and I don't know if you guys know, Piccadilly Cafeteria used to make this, and it was always on their menu. So I'm going to do it a little differently. I've got a few more ingredients that I'm going to add in, but to start, I've just taken carrots, sliced them up, and roasted them in the oven. I put them in a 275-degree oven for about an hour and a half. I wanted them to get nice and soft, like potatoes. You know, you want them nice and soft so you can mash them. And that's what I'm going to start doing right now, is get these carrots nice and mashed up. So, just with a potato masher, I'm working the carrots. I want some small pieces. It's okay to have a few small pieces, but I want to get it pretty well mashed up as I add in my additional ingredients as well. We'll keep working it while we add that stuff in. Now, once we get the carrots nice and broken down, we're going to add in 3/4 cup of turbinado sugar or raw sugar. So that's going to go in next. You can use white sugar or brown sugar. I really like the raw sugar for this recipe. Let's put that right in. Sugar's in. And I'm going to keep just working it in and mashing it all together. You could do this in a food processor if you wanted to. If you really wanted to make the carrots super smooth, you could definitely put them through a food processor. But we're getting them right where we want them to be. Now I'm going to add to this some vanilla extract. That is a 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Right in. Just keep mashing away. I've got 3 egg yolks. I separated the eggs because we're going to fold in the egg whites separately. There it is, last egg. So we got 3 egg yolks mixed in. It's coming together nicely, just what we wanted to do. Now, dry ingredients. The dry ingredients that I have here is a combination of 2 tablespoons of flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's going to give us our lift along with the egg whites, and a pinch of mace. You can use nutmeg or mace in this. But I'm going to take this out now. I'm mashed where I want to be. I'm just going to sprinkle the dry ingredients over. And I'm going to switch to a rubber spatula to fold in the dry. Okay, so we got everything in. It smells good already. That cinnamon and pinch of mace just wakes up nicely. Now, I'm going to do a little soft butter in this. I've got 1 stick of softened butter that's going to go in. Right in with that. And I'm just going to work it in as well. Just going to mash that butter right in with the potatoes. Or carrots, I'm sorry. This could easily be sweet potatoes. It smells very similar to sweet potatoes. But these are carrots. Butter's mixing in nicely. Keep getting it in. Nice soft butter. It's coming together nice. We've got everything in the bowl, and the last thing we're going to do is fold in some egg whites. The 3 egg whites from the eggs that were separated out. I just took a hand mixer and gave them a whirl to get them nice and fluffy. You want to go right about to soft peak. You don't want them super stiff, but you want them just enough to stand up. And that's going to give a little lift and volume to the dish as well. Okay, so butter's mixed in, cinnamon, sugar, vanilla, a pinch of mace, a little flour. All those things are going to come together and help this souffle set up. Now, if this were a classic French souffle, I would have made everything super, super smooth and folded it in. But this is more of a home style dish, so we want a few little chunks of carrots in there. We want to be able to identify that. Okay, so I got the egg whites. I'm going to go in 2 parts and just fold in those egg whites. Let's get our last half in. There we go, a little extra there. We'll put that in there too. I'm just going to fold. Okay, once we get all the egg whites nice and incorporated in, I've sprayed a 2-quart casserole pan. Then I'm going to pour this in. You only want to fill the pan about halfway because you want to give a little room for the mixture to rise. It's going to rise, and with most souffles, they puff up nice and then they settle when they come out of the oven. So they should be served immediately. So this is something you would definitely do day of before service. Okay, that's ready to go. We've got a pan sprayed with a little no stick spray, and I'm just going to put the carrot mixture right in. There we go. Everybody in. Smells really good. You could do this with sweet potatoes, yams, whatever you want, any root vegetable. You could easily do this with. If you had pumpkin, acorn squash, butternut squash, any of those guys will work like this. So it's just smoothed out on the top, uncovered, gonna bake for 1 hour at 350 degrees. So again, in the oven, 1 hour, bake for 350 degrees, and when we come back, we'll see what it tastes like. So the carrot souffle is done. It baked at 350 degrees for 1 hour, and it's hot out the oven. So I've sprinkled a little bit of just decorative sugar over the top. That's gonna add a little dimension. It smells great. And we'll dish out some to taste. It's piping hot. Here we go. Oh yeah. Nice and light. Oh man, that looks great. So I'll grab a fork. Okay, here we go, taste test. Let's get just a little. If I didn't know it was carrots, I probably would say sweet potatoes, but it's definitely carrots, and it's delicious. Add this to your holiday menu and come back next week because we're going to be doing the turkey. Turkey, all day turkey. So remember, feed yourself well, turn on your notifications, and subscribe. See you next week.